Imagine for a moment two different types of woodcutters in a vast ancient forest. The first woodcutter is the picture of traditional diligence. He arrives at dawn and swings his axe with rhythmic, unrelenting force until the sun sets. He is covered in sweat, his muscles are aching, and at the end of the day, he has a respectable pile of wood. The second woodcutter spends the first 4 hours of his morning sitting quietly by a stream, sharpening his blade to a surgical edge and studying the grain of the trees. He works for only 3 hours, hitting each tree at exactly the right angle with a fraction of the effort, and by mid-afternoon, his pile of wood is twice as large as the first man's. He spends his remaining time resting, learning about new forest paths, and planning for the next season. This is the fundamental divide in the human experience of work, the difference between blind industriousness and strategic diligence. Most people have been conditioned to believe that the sheer volume of effort is the primary driver of success. But in the modern world, being a diligent ant is often a one-way ticket to burnout and mediocrity. To become truly efficient, wealthy, and healthy, we must move past the cliches of the grind and embrace a more opportunistic, biological, and high-leverage form of work. The greatest trap of traditional diligence is that it often serves as a sophisticated form of procrastination. It is much easier to stay busy with small, low-value tasks than it is to confront the terrifying, high-stakes decisions that actually move the needle of your life. We call this shallow work. Biologically, your brain loves shallow work because it provides a constant, cheap trickle of dopamine without requiring much deep thought. When you clear your inbox or organize your files, you feel a sense of accomplishment, but you haven't actually created any real value. This type of diligence is actually a form of laziness. It is the laziness of the mind refusing to prioritize. A truly opportunistic worker understands that 90% of all results come from 10% of all activities. They are not afraid to be lazy regarding unimportant tasks so they can be maniacal regarding the things that matter. To understand how to work better, we have to look at the biology of the human focus. Our brains are not designed to be always on for 8 hours a day. We operate on what scientists call Ultradian Rhythms, cycles of high-frequency brain activity followed by periods of recovery that typically last between 90 and 120 minutes. When you force yourself to work through your natural recovery dips, your prefrontal cortex, which is the seat of your willpower and executive function, begins to wither. Your decision-making becomes poor, your creativity vanishes, and you begin to make mistakes that take more time to fix later. Strategic diligence means honoring these biological boundaries. Instead of working long, lukewarm hours, you should aim for short, intense bursts of deep work, followed by total disconnection. High performance is not about endurance, it is about the quality of the sprint. The opportunistic angle on diligence also requires a deep understanding of leverage. In physics, a lever allows a small amount of force to move a massive object. In life, leverage comes in 4 main forms: capital, people, technology, and media. If you are only working with your own 2 hands and your own 8 hours of time, you are operating at a 1-to-1 ratio of effort to reward. This is the hardest way to get wealthy and the fastest way to lose your health. A person with a winner's mentality looks for ways to multiply their effort. They write a piece of code that works while they sleep. They create a video that teaches thousands of people at once, or they build a system that allows others to execute their vision. Strategic diligence is not just about doing the work, it is about building the machines that do the work for you. However, we must also discuss the dark side of diligence, the hidden cost of the hustle. When work becomes your entire identity, your nervous system remains in a state of constant sympathetic activation, otherwise known as fight or flight mode. This floods your body with cortisol and adrenaline, which over time suppresses your immune system and leads to chronic inflammation. Many of the world's most diligent people are actually some of the most unhealthy, suffering from heart disease, insomnia, and hormonal imbalances. A wise person understands that health is the ultimate form of wealth. Without a functioning body, your bank account is meaningless. Therefore, the most productive thing you can do for your career is often to prioritize 7 to 9 hours of sleep, a nutrient-dense diet, and regular movement. Recovery is not time off from work, It is the essential fuel that makes high-level work possible. From a psychological perspective, being too diligent can also make you rigid and blind to opportunity. If your head is always down, focused on the task at hand, you will miss the sudden shifts in the market or the unexpected lucky breaks that define the world's greatest fortunes. This is why some of the most successful people in history appeared to be lazy or distracted to their peers. They were maintaining a state of peripheral awareness, waiting for the right moment to strike. An opportunist knows that the world does not reward the person who works the hardest. It rewards the person who solves the most difficult problems at the right time. Sometimes, the most industrious thing you can do is stop working, step back, and ask, is the ladder I am climbing even leaning against the right wall? In practice, this means developing a ruthless filter for your time. You must learn to say no to almost everything so that you can say a massive yes to the few things that can change your life. This involves a concept called negative productivity, which is the art of removing things from your schedule rather than adding them. Instead of a to-do list, try a stop-doing list. Stop checking emails in the morning when your brain is at its creative peak. Stop attending meetings that could have been an email. Stop doing manual tasks that can be automated for $20 a month. By clearing the clutter, you create the mental space required for deep work, where the real breakthroughs happen. Wealth is often the byproduct of this specific type of focus. In a world where everyone is distracted by notifications and superficial busywork, the ability to concentrate on a single complex problem for 4 hours is a superpower. This is how you develop rare and valuable skills that the market is willing to pay a premium for. While everyone else is competing in a race to the bottom by working more hours for less money, the strategic worker is climbing a race to the top by becoming a specialist who can do what no one else can. They understand that money follows value, and value is created by the intensity of the mind, not the exhaustion of the body. The final piece of the puzzle is the diligence of reflection. Most people finish their workday and immediately jump into the diligence of consumption, scrolling through social media or watching television. A person who is committed to self-improvement spends 20 minutes at the end of the day reviewing their performance. They ask themselves, where did I lose focus? What was my most valuable contribution today? How can I make tomorrow easier for myself? This habit of reflection turns your daily experiences into a compound interest of wisdom. Over a year, this small practice will make you significantly more effective than someone who just works blindly without ever looking back. In summary, diligence is a magnificent tool, but it is a terrible master. If you allow the grind to dictate your life, you will likely end up tired, broke, and sick. But if you treat diligence as a precision instrument, something to be applied strategically, biologically, and with a keen eye for leverage, you will find that success becomes a matter of when, not if. You will have the wealth to buy back your time, the health to enjoy your life, and the efficiency to achieve in 4 hours what others cannot achieve in 40. Work with the grain of your nature, not against it. Be the woodcutter who sharpens his axe, for it is the edge of the blade, not the weight of the swing, that brings down the giants. Thank you for exploring the new science of diligence with me today. If this perspective on strategic work and high-leverage life hacks gave you the clarity you needed to change your daily routine, please hit the like button. It helps our community of high achievers and seekers grow and ensures these insights keep reaching people who are tired of the traditional grind. What is one low-value task you are going to stop doing today to make room for your deep work? Let me know in the comments below, as I am very interested to see how you are going to reclaim your focus. If you want to keep unlocking the secrets of wealth, health, and the mechanics of a truly successful life, make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell. Until next time, stay sharp, stay opportunistic, and always move forward.